Kick it with your torso, hit it with the floor, so wave your hand if you ain't got a man. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. I got, you got, we got everybody. What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another film review, and today we're taking a look at Better Man. I have had a Better Man poster in my, room for a better part of a year now, and a lot of you still talk about it in my TikTok comments and in my YouTube comments saying, of course you like that movie, of course you're the one that likes that movie, you're someone who likes that movie, and I don't get what kind of insult that is, because this movie's good. This movie's really fucking good. I went into this movie, and I didn't know who Robbie Williams was, I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was the guy that played Branch in Trolls, but no, that's a different dude. I got them mixed up. So, I went into this movie with no fucking idea who it was, and I now know who he is, which I think in this film's this film did what it was supposed to do. This film is a biography of this person to help you get to know him more as a person, and that's what this movie did. It got me to know this guy more than what I did before. So, without any further delay, let's get into what Google has to say. Better Man 2024 musical fantasy, which is 2 hours and 16 minutes. It has a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb and an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. You can watch it on Sky Store or Amazon Prime. The true story of the musical rise, dramatic fall, and remarkable resurrectance of British pop superstar Robbie Williams. I'm going to be honest, there is a lot of criticisms with this movie, which I do want to go into before I take a look at the story, which is Robbie Williams is only 50, and he hasn't quote-unquote done a lot with his life in that time, and he is a British pop icon, and because this movie is trying to be a blockbuster movie, which needs to bring back a lot of money because it had a very high budget, they are trying to market it over into America, Australia, and other big, big box office places to try and get it a place, but I do believe it fell flat in America and Australia and a couple of other places as well because they don't have a fucking clue who Robbie Williams is. And this movie is directed towards more of an adult audience because of the use of sex, drugs, and violence. However, with it being a monkey main character, I do feel like it would catch the eye of quite a few children. I'm not too sure. I do think a singing monkey would catch the eye of a couple of children, and the children would want to go see it. But quickly, just running through the story, it starts when Robbie's a little boy. He gets scouted to join a group called Take That, which my mum and my auntie are huge fans of, and he then leaves the group because the fame goes to his head and he starts doing drugs and stuff, and he starts not pulling his weight. So he gets a girlfriend who's also in a pop band, and she gets a number one. He gets jealous. They break up because he's been having a lot of other girls in their bed when he shouldn't. He then goes and starts his own music career, going on tour, and he starts seeing past versions of himself in the crowd, calling him a hag, calling him shit, saying that he's not good enough, and it's basically just this doubt in his mind that's been in his mind all the way through the movie, coming to a big sort of tipping point here, and he has a massive fucking battle sequence with them, which I think is badass as shit, and he decapitates them and kills them all, in which he silences them. The thoughts are still there, but he silences them, and they cannot affect him anymore, which I think is really cool. And we then continue the story where he makes amends with his friend, his father, his old band members, his mum, and a load of other people that he's wronged during this movie. And then he has a pretty good closing night show where he sings on stage with his dad, and that's where the movie ends. And it ends with a very good line of "fuck off," which I think is peak British humour. We had some amazing British humour all the way through this, where it is just the overuse of swearing, some British accents being used here, and there is so many good scenes in this movie, which are just so fucking unnecessary. We didn't need that massive fucking battle sequence between all the past variations of, like, Robbie Williams to silence his dark thoughts. But it was cool and it was badass, and it was a really interesting view of what was going on in his head. He was having a mental battle between all these dark thoughts, and he came out on top. He came out on top, and he was fucking brilliant. And I thought it was really interesting. There was another really cool scene where they were going through all the stages of Take That. They didn't really focus too much on the Take That era of Robbie's life. It was more along the lines of what came after Take That. And a lot of you who had a complaint being like, oh, he hadn't done that much in his life. His career started when he was 17, 16, and he was in the band of Take That. So he's done quite a lot. Like, he's been working since he's been like 16, 17. He's been in a boy band till he was 21. He had a little bit of a dry patch, and then he went on to make amends. He had a very good story, and he had a very good, like, I want to say arc. Like it's a film character, but he's a real person, but I don't know how else to explain it. He had a very good turnaround, and he made his life better. He had a massive turnaround, and he wanted to make his life better, and he wanted to share that story. And this is a very good inspirational story as well, to show that even if you are a little kid who's grown up in, like, the back ends, like a quiet little village, a little back street of Britain, that you can be a big pop idol. Yes, you might have to struggle and fight your way to get there, but you can get there. And you don't have to be born with, quote-unquote, it, but you can get there if you put in the work and the effort to do so. So if you keep trying your hardest, keep pushing for it, and keep trying to do your best, you can be the best, and you can be a better man, a better version of yourself. And I think that's really cool. Robbie Williams did say in a couple of press things that the reason that he wanted to be a, like, monkey in his sort of retelling of his story is because he never really felt human. He always felt less than, less evolved, less, like, I don't know what to say, like, more, less human is what he put it as. And he also said that it's not very nice to see a monkey struggling, and it's not very nice to see a monkey doing coke or drugs or whatever he was doing in the movie. He was doing smack at one point, so, you know, it was pretty bad to see, and it would get a lot more emotion than if we would see a human doing that stuff. And I feel like it worked quite well. I did also see a monkey have a wank in this movie, so, you know, it is still a little bit questionable. Also, I feel like it had the Avatar effect, where it was like all these really pretty, really highly CGI'd Na'vi were running around this really beautiful planet, where as the movie went on, it sort of started to lose that magic because our brains just went, okay, this is what this world looks like. It's just what they look like. Like, they are just, and makes them more human and makes a connection with them, whereas in this movie it does the same. Like, halfway through the movie you sort of stop thinking of him as like a monkey or as different. You just start to see him as another dude. Like, you just, that's just how he looks. That's it. And like, you no longer care how good the CGI is. And he does have a load of different styles throughout the movie. I'm gonna be honest, my favorite style is when he had that, like, perm with a cap on. I thought that was really cool, seeing a monkey with a perm. But he did have a grey style with like a leather jacket. He had his older style, his younger style, him dressed as a pirate at one point, and I thought it was really funny and really cool. And he had a load of costumes as well. Seeing him perform on stage was also fucking cool. And I just thought it was a really good movie. They worked really hard, and it had a really good emotional story, and I was locked in. I'm gonna be honest, it was so much better than the Lego version of, like, Pharrell Williams' like biopic, because this felt more like a story. This felt more like a retelling of his life story in a form of a movie rather than a documentary. I would much rather have seen Pharrell Williams' life as a movie rather than a documentary in Lego. That would have been so much better. And I think this takes the cake for 2024's best biopic. The only two that I watched is the Robbie Williams one and the Pharrell Williams one, so I'm picking this one. I'm going to be honest. Honestly, I have added most of these songs into my playlist on Spotify, which these songs weren't made specifically for this movie. They were already made by Take That. They were already made by Robbie Williams, and you know, they were just reused in this movie to sort of show different stages of his life and why certain songs got made and how certain songs got made. And I added most of them to my Spotify playlist. I am going to be honest, these songs are very catchy, and my favorite one is the one that I butchered when this video did open up. But other than that, I think this is a solid 9 out of 10 movie. Kill me in the comments. I don't care. This is my opinion. You can have yours. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, if I'm right, if I'm wrong. And I'll see you all in the next one. I hope you all have an excellent day. And goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. If you do want me to review any other movies, TV shows, animes, or even video games, please do let me know down in the comments below. And I will get onto it as soon as possible. Please do remember I have a backlog of video reviews. So it might be a little bit of a while before I get around to it. But make sure... I'll try and make sure that it is coming sooner rather than later. Alright, bye-bye.